Hey everyone, welcome back. Icon here. Thanks for checking out another episode of Esports Analysis. As we hop into today's recording, I really want to break down the first 4 rounds of this search and destroy matchup between Chicago and Florida. So going into this, now what I'll say is that this easily should have been a 4-0 Chicago lead. They made a bunch of mistakes that you don't usually see teams like this make. Barring those pretty easy, pretty rudimentary mistakes, they would have been up 4-0. Now, does Florida have the ability to come back from that? Absolutely. But I do think that in at least 2 of these first 4 rounds, Chicago end up choking in ways that you normally don't see them. So with that, let's go ahead and I'm going to point out just real quick the strategy on this first one. Again, I don't really love to do this all that much because I don't want to give team strategies away. But essentially right here, you can already see exactly what Chicago is trying to do. So if we look at the minimap in the bottom left-hand corner, every once in a while, I'll go ahead and I'll draw on it so you guys can see exactly where I'm looking. But Florida is known for being an aggressive team. So because of that, you can see that there are 2 people over here in pipes that are just backing each other up. This is Arcides and Scump. There are 2 people right here at this front warehouse just because, again, they're just waiting for Florida to push when they probably shouldn't. And then there's 1 player in the back that's just essentially watching the push forward over here in Woods. So essentially all they're doing is just watching this middle push, this push, and even into green, and then they're watching in Woods. So this is a very defensive round because they know that Florida plays super aggressively when it comes to search and destroy. Now, as we go ahead and let this play, you can see that Arcides is over here. He ends up getting a kill on his brother, Prestini. Now, one thing that I'll say right here is that Arcides only fired like 4 or 5 bullets, and he's immediately going to go and try to pick up this SMG, and this is a little bit of a mistake. I know that he closed the door, but in this scenario, give it 7 or 8 seconds. Lay down, just watch this door before you go to switch out your gun, because in most scenarios, right now, Prestini is telling his teammates that Arcides is weak, so what's going to happen is they're going to come through, and they're going to try to trade this out, and that's exactly what ends up happening. So rather than have a 5v4 in this scenario, Arcides gets taken out. Now it's a 4v4. Again, not the end of the world, but you could have avoided that. As we go ahead and let this play, you can see that at this moment in time, they're going to start working their way over towards the B bomb site. Now, that's a big pickup from Envoy right there. Envoy, again, minimap bottom left-hand corner. Envoy just got a kill right here on number 8, which is Havoc. So right now, they're in a 4v3. So again, as of right now, they have numbers. So at this point, they're just trying to decide where they want to go with the bomb. Here in a second, you're going to see bomb carrier on the right-hand side of the map. Gunless takes shots on Skies right there. And essentially at this point in time, they know that Florida is set up for a B push. Now, there's a little bit of confusion that happens right here. So Gunless is going to head over towards his teammates, towards P3. And then they're gonna flip that out and they're gonna go back to B. So what they're thinking right now is that they know that Florida is set up for a B push. So they're thinking if all 4 of us are together, let's go ahead and let's just rotate A. And then they think better of it. So they decide to go back to B. A little bit of confusion there, but I don't think it really cost them too much. It didn't cost them the round or anything. Now, one thing that I will say is that just that little bit of confusion, look what it did to Florida. So if you're looking on the map right now, Florida's looking A, 0. So Frosty is looking over here, and number 6, Mox, has completely rotated out. So just that little bit of delay has made Florida think that it's a push towards A when it's really not. So essentially the rest of this round, it's going to go just about as you would expect it to go. One thing that I'll say is that this position right here, I don't really love. This position right here from Envoy, I don't love this. And reason being is that right now they have numbers, so it's a 4v3. So with him being here, sure, he's in an advantageous spot where he's going to be able to kill anybody that pushes him. But if for some reason he has an M4 right there and he gets pushed by Frosty and he ends up losing that gun battle, now all of a sudden it's a 3v3 because there's nobody to back him up. So again, minimap bottom left-hand corner, the 2 players that are over by Woods, they're working together, right? So if they get in a gun battle with Skies right here, they can trade that out. If Envoy loses this gun battle, the person that's left, Scump, is nowhere near being able to trade this out. He should be up in front green, just so this way those 2 players can trade out that 2v1 and they'll still have numbers advantage. It doesn't end up mattering too much because Envoy gets that kill, and at this point it's a 4v2, so this is exactly what we're talking about. Skies is able to kill Gunless, Formal trades it, and then at this point in time, Envoy heard that, you know, the last two people are over there. So as he pushes forward, just want to show real quick, these two arrows go together, right? Envoy and Scum push this together so that even if Envoy does go down, it's not going to matter because it's a 2v1. They can trade that out. So overall, I think that's a pretty well played round from Chicago. There were a little bit of ugly spots here and there. The confusion on which bomb to go to and then not taking a 2v1, taking that 1v1. But that's not something that's going to absolutely lose you the round, right? So Envoy had a 3-piece in that first round. Now, this is one where there's a little bit of a mistake. It comes towards the end. So if you're watching the minimap in the bottom left-hand corner, this is a B-bomb push, so they are trying to push over towards B. And you can see that Chicago has a decent setup. One thing that I want to point out real quick is that this is a pretty shifty move here from Pristini. Pristini's able to sneak right between these two players and get bottom showers. This is a little odd. You would think that this player right here, for whatever reason, we can't see what number it is, would have been able to see that and trade that out. But even so, Pristini is known for being super aggressive, so he's going to end up getting a kill from that position. So right there, Pristini killed Scum. Now he's in showers. Envoy, this is a massive kill. So I don't love that. This is kind of a mistake from Florida. I don't love the fact that Envoy was able to peek out there, get that kill, and then run backwards. Most of the time, if the bomb's over towards B, that's going to get traded out immediately. Whoever number 7 is, looks like that's Skies. So right here, left-hand side of the mini-map, he should have been pushed up maybe just slightly so that he could have traded out Envoy as he snuck around the left side of that B bomb there. A little bit of a tricky play there, but even so, it's down to a 4v4. So we know that right now the bomb is going B.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing around that and just
as we watch this progress just a little bit, Mox is about to put the bomb down, and this is a key point where he puts the bomb down. So you're going to notice that right here, the bomb is planted on the left side. So here's the bomb is planted right here. And reason being is that if you plant it here, now all of a sudden you can watch it towards mid-map. Not exactly, now I'm not saying that exact spot where Frosty is at, but all these areas right here by you, over towards the left side of the map by Coil, this bomb position can be watched all over the map. So keep that in mind as we let this play out. Now, what I will say is that right now it's a 3v3, right? There are 3 people left for Chicago. There are 3 people left for Florida. So we're going to watch this. Pristini easily could have clutched the round right there if he was able to get that kill. But right now we know that there's one behind, so they're going to push this and they're going to trade it out. So right now it is a 2v1 and Skies went down. So it's a 2v1. It was a 3v3. Skies went down. He fell to Arcides, and then they traded out that kill from behind. Gunless was able to trade out Pristini. So right now it's a 2v1, and I want you to notice at the top of your screen, there are 25 seconds left. So if we look up here, there are 25 seconds left. You need 7.5 to defuse, so you have about 18 seconds to finish up this kill. And right now at 25 seconds, Frosty is revealing his location. They know where Frosty is at. This is where they make a critical error. So right here, Frosty gets shots on Formal. As we tune back in, right here, Gunless gets shots on Frosty, and it's only 1 or 2, but he's wounded. So if you're watching this, what this is going to cause is that it's going to cause Frosty to not push out right away because he's trying to recover his health. If you have a 2v1 and you're in this scenario where you have somebody wounded, Formal and Gunless have to push this. Even so, is there a chance that they both get traded out? I mean, I guess maybe. So if you're pushing this and Gunless comes around this side you and Formal comes around this side, could he get traded out? Absolutely. But at this point in time, if we're looking at the clock, you've only got 10 seconds. So you've got 10 seconds to work with this. As we go ahead and let it play, you're going to see that time is ticking off. It's down to 15. It's down to 14. Now, they throw a smoke. And the reason why they throw a smoke is because now Frosty can't see the bomb. But what seemed to be a good idea in that scenario ends up not being a good idea because where Formal is positioned, this is an extremely smart play from Frosty. Where Formal is positioned, if Frosty comes out to the right, all of a sudden he's behind green building and he can get shots on gunless, whereas Formal can't trade it out. So Formal's watching over here. He ends up getting bullets on him, and I know that there's a lot going on screen right now, but just watch as this plays out. Frosty gets shot. He knows that if he makes it over to the right, he can kill whoever's fusing the bomb because, again, where he's located, Formal can't trade that out. He runs to the right. He kills gunless, and now there's 10 seconds left. So Formal has 2.5 seconds now to trade out Frosty, and there's just not enough time, right? He can't get to him in time and get back. So Frosty, all he has to do is just hide for 3 seconds. As soon as it gets to 7.5, he can look back out. It can't be defused. They win the round. So again, there's 18 seconds left when Frosty gets wounded. You have to be aggressive because if you're not aggressive right here, here's where Frosty gets wounded. You have to push this. You know that he has to heal. And if you lay down and try to defuse this bomb, yes, you're relying on Formal, but there's always that chance. If you push this in a 2v1, he's probably not going to be able to trade both of you. So he sits back here. They smoke. He runs to the right. Super intelligent play. He knows once he's behind this green building, he can't be traded out. He waits 3 seconds, pops back out, and now all of a sudden there's no more time left. As we go ahead and hop into this third round here, there's really not even too much to talk about with this one. This is just a well-played round by Chicago. Everything goes their way. It starts right here where Pristini almost kills himself with a nade. He ends up getting killed by gunless, and now it's a 5v4. So at this point in time, you could just trade out. This setup, by the way, doesn't even really make too much sense to me. In fact, the broadcasters talked about it a little bit, but if you look right here, there's this extreme showers setup right here where one person's watching the bomb, Scump is watching bottom stairs, and I can't see who this one is, but he's watching the back door. I don't love this because, I mean, it's not the worst thing, right? If Scump gets gunned, he can get traded out. If the person watching the back gets gunned, he can probably get traded out. But I don't like all those people in that close vicinity. I would like them traded or spread out a little bit more. But it's not going to hurt them. So at this point in time, they know that they have control of the map over towards B. So right now, Gunless is pushing up. He's going to go ahead and try to get the bomb down. It's being planted at the moment. When it goes down, Skies is going to come forward. He's going to kill Gunless.
Nice patience by Skies.
Now, again, I don't love the fact that that wasn't traded out. But Scum picks up a big kill on Frosty. Arcees picks up a kill on Mox. Scump kills Skies, and now you're at a 4v1. So they did a nice job here of just trading out those kills. Everybody kind of had lanes locked down. That was a pretty run-of-the-mill search and destroy round. Nothing there to get excited about, to be over-analytical about. Everybody was just watching a lane, and they clutched up their kills. Now, as we go ahead and we hop into round 4 here, now, Chicago does have a 2-1 lead, but again, they're probably feeling pretty good about themselves, but it could easily be 3-1, right? And that feels, or it could easily be 3-0, and that feels a lot different. So Envoy pushed up to green here. He got a kill. Then I would like to see him not be so aggressive here. Maybe try to make your way in towards bottom green. Just try not to. Obviously, that person was called out, so he goes for that kill, and there's no way of that being traded out. So it ends up being a 4v4. You really do want to try to just slow things down and play your lives. Now, Formal did get a pick over on the left-hand side of the map. So, again, we're back in a numbers advantage. It's 4v3. And Pristini being Pristini, he's trying to flank. And right here, he gets called out. So he's pushing towards the back. And if you're watching the mini-map in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see all of these white arrows are going to start pushing back and watching towards the back. So they're not going to let him flank behind him and get some sort of two-piece that they probably wouldn't expect. So you can kind of watch two things at this moment. You can watch the battle in the back, and you can watch what's happening over towards B-bomb. So Frosty just took out Gunless over towards B-bomb, and right now, again, we're in a 3v3. So at that point in time, I would have had to have thought that Pristini thought he was on flank, so he'd be able to hit them from behind. He probably had no idea that he was spotted on rotation, so that's a great kill from Formal. And at this point, this is where the mistakes start to be made. So it's a 3v2. You know that the bomb is going B. Again, you have numbers. So the way you push this, you have to push in a way that you have numbers advantage. In no scenario whatsoever, especially in this, can you push just two people by themselves, okay? it doesn't matter which side you go to. If you flank around the right side of the map, left side of the map, you can't push two people together without the third person there. And that's what's going to happen. So bomb went down. This is really reckless from Formal. So he's going to try to make a play. He jumps around, and he does end up getting a kill. But the problem is, so he doesn't get this kill, but it gets traded out. So Scump's going to come around. He's going to trade out this kill, and then he gets traded out. So he goes down to Mox. And at this point in time, there are still 38 seconds left, but Mox knows now that he's in a 1v1. So all Mox is going to do is he's just going to run towards the back. And if they did this same exact play, but they let RCs get just a tiny bit forward on the map, now all of a sudden he would have been able to trade out that kill and they would have won the round. So I don't know what the communication was, but just from looking at this on the surface, that was a super reckless play from Formal. Even though they had the ability to trade, there's that chance that they lose that 2v2, and that's exactly what happened. So if they do everything, I know I'm harping on this, but if they do everything the exact same way and they just wait 1 second, just one more second for RCDs to get closer, now we can trade that out and they win the round. So as we go ahead and we let this play, RCDs is going to get a bullet or two into Mox, but now he knows that all he has to do is stay alive. So he just got shot over towards Woods, so he knows at this point in time, he sees RCDs right there, and he's just watching the clock. His teammates are telling him that there's 28 seconds left, so essentially he has to stay alive for 20 more seconds, right? So he's just staying alive. He's running around over towards boxes. He peeks right here, and he didn't see RCDs up there. So what that tells him is that RCDs had backed off and that he's probably going towards the bomb. So 18 seconds left. So that means he just has to survive for 11 more seconds. So he peeks over right there and he sees the bomb. Rather than try to peek it or look for it, see where RCDs is, gather information, he doesn't have to do anything, because he just saw that RCDs wasn't on the bomb. So RCDs right here, you can't get on the bomb. You have to sprint at him and try to get that kill. You have 9 seconds to get that kill. You can't play it passively. So he ends up going for the ninja defuse, but at this level, any pro player knows that when he checked it, there was 18 seconds left. So all he has to do is go back and check it again before it hits 10. So there's 13 seconds left at the top of the screen. Mox peeks, and he gets the kill, and they win the round. So this round was lost just for the simple fact that they had a 3v2 and they had to push together. Now, I will say, just to close out this video, the rest of these rounds just kind of play themselves out like typical rounds, but I just want to state right here that if Chicago is up 4-0, this is probably a much different map. Is it possible that they end up giving up 6 rounds in a row to Florida? Absolutely. Everything is possible at this level of play. But at 4-0, you probably have confidence. You're probably making plays that you wouldn't have made before just because you have more confidence and you're going to hit your shots. But if you're at 4-0, this is probably a much different match. So I know that right now it's 2-2. Anything could happen, but just those 2 plays alone, even that last play right there by Mox, is enough to energize your team, right? They had no business winning that round, and he ended up coming through with a clutch play. He was able to sneak out, peek the bomb, go back and forth, and then get that kill on RCDs. As I close this video, please leave a like down below if you like stuff like this. I don't want to break down the entire match. I feel like I've broken down enough here. I don't like to give everybody's secrets away, but I feel like I've at least broken down enough to where you guys can see the mistakes that were made and the good plays that Florida made, which is the reason why they came out on top. So if you're new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be breaking down little things like this the entire week, which led to why the Atlanta event turned out the way that it did. If you have any comments, please put them down below. I love the interactions, and I try to get back to you guys as much as I possibly can. Don't forget to leave a like before you head on your way. And with that, I'll catch you guys in the next episode.